Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of our Let's Play Project Ozone 3 Mythic Mode series. And I know it has been a little while since we've had one of these episodes. I haven't abandoned the series, and I wanted to take a moment to check in and let everybody know exactly what's going on with. Whoop! I gotta be careful about you. I want to let everybody know exactly what's going on with the series. Right now, we are just working on gathering up. I think it should be the last of our zinc. I don't think we are going to have any more, require any more zinc here with the miner. And instead of doing a lot of progress today, we're just going to chat. There's still a lot that I have to do, and if I wait until I do that to get an episode out, then we might have to wait weeks. As of right now, I'm working on auto crafting up some red alloy ingots so that I can make the dimension builder. It takes way too much crafting memory currently to make that, so I'm unable to deal with that. And I don't want to think about it. This has been a very difficult couple of weeks at work and in life and in general. Everybody knows how winter is, and you know things happen. You get a little depressed, and I wanted to talk about that and to talk about, I don't know, what people can do to just you know deal with that, fight it, and move on. Well, maybe not fight it. Fight it's probably not the correct word, but just whoop. Who's coming for me? Nothing. Just sort of deal with it. Uh, you know how things are. So this is just an episode to chat and hang out and talk to each other for a little bit and just sort of build around and have a good time. Looks like I was incorrect. I need a couple more. Just another run of this to have enough. And let's talk about, things. Uh, I work as a teacher currently here in Korea. I teach English to elementary schoolers and middle schoolers, filling you in just a little bit on my life here. And I am also management at this job. And, management comes with all sorts of stress. It comes with its own side effects and terrible things. And if any of you know what that's like, please leave it down in the comments below. Let's talk about it, share experiences. But I am struggling right now with like motivation. Uh, Motivation not only to do these videos and make these things, but to work in general. I am struggling quite heavily. So, as manager at my job, one of the things I have to do is kind of like quality control for the classes that we teach. And we it's strange for those of you who have never been part of teaching English in Korea. It can be really strange to understand and to think about, but we aren't a public school, we're a private school. In Korea, they have cram schools after class where students go after their school and they get like one on one, well, not really one on one, but more in depth, I guess, education than what they do at their public school. And the school that I work for is like, I guess, sort of high profile. Wow, still 300 left. High profile. It's very much more advanced classes than what they would get at their public school. And we're not just teaching them English speaking and stuff, we're also like teaching them literature classes and we're teaching them science classes. And recently, I have found myself really struggling to motivate myself to make the best classes that I can make. And that has sort of affected the classes that I'm putting out. Not in like a super negative way. The students are still learning. That's my number one goal. I want to make sure that they are learning and they're getting things done and things are going well for them. But also, like, I want my classes to be fun and memorable and the best they could possibly be. And that's really sort of just draining and hard to keep up for as long as I've done it. This is my, oh, I don't know, probably my 7th year teaching now. So trying to be the best that I could possibly be for 7 years is kind of exhausting, to be perfectly honest. And if that wasn't enough, I also have to manage 10 other employees at the same time. And if anybody's been management before, we're for such a large group, you know that it can be rather difficult and ungratifying to do the work. And I am expected to make sure that not only my classes go perfectly well, but everybody's classes go perfectly well in order to make sure that we get the best classes as possible for our students, which is kind of a big ask for anybody involved. And here's where I'm coming across kind of my biggest issue. I cannot find a way to motivate the teachers that I'm working with to get, I don't know what the proper word is, to the same quality of classes that, the children deserve to have. And I know that probably sounds a little, I guess, selfish or uncaring about those teachers, but I do care about how much work they're doing. Like, I don't want them to be overworked, I don't want them to be stressed. So I'm always like trying to consider, could I do the thing that I am asking my employees to do? Could I be able to do that thing myself? I always try to keep that in the back of my head while I am talking to them, asking them to do things. And even though I feel as if I'm doing my best to meet them halfway and where am I going? Over here. Meet them halfway and consider how much work they're doing and how much we're expecting of them and how difficult the job actually is. I don't feel like at least 3 out of my 10 purple slime grass. 3 out of my 10 co-workers are really meeting me halfway. And I guess the question I'm posing to any of my viewers out there who have an idea of what I'm going through or have had similar experiences in your life, I guess what I'm asking is, what would you do in my situation? So I we as teachers are just expected to do kind of the bare minimum. Like, we're not really purple. What am I missing for this? Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. What are you called? What am I looking at? Slimy grass. Let's find slimy grass. Slimy grass. That is what I'm looking at. Slimy grass. Let's get this. All right. So the teachers that I'm working with, I need to know and think about how I can make them kind of view my viewpoint as far as teaching goes. Like, my idea is that, the students that I work for, we're not a public school, so the students aren't required to go there. And so we're a business and we need as many students as we can get. So I guess the number one drive for the business itself is we need customers to stay open. But beyond that, to me, I'm also looking at, are the students themselves getting the value for their time? Because they don't choose to come to where we are. Their parents sort of force them. Some of them do get to choose. Their parents are kind and say, hey, do you like this place that I'm sending you to? And, the goal is to get them to not only like your class, but to not waste their time, because Korea and life in general today is super highly competitive in a way that it wasn't, 20 years ago when I was a kid. I don't want these students to fall behind or to struggle or to not get the best chances that they could get based on, just some random person's idea of how much work they want to put into planning a class or teaching someone. I want them to get the best possible care that we can give them, right? And unfortunately, and this is going to sound, rude and snarky, and maybe it is, and if it is, please let me know in the comments. I want to get different opinions and grow and learn and change myself. I feel as if I am one of the only people that I work with that understands that basic premise, that the student's time needs to be valued uh, greatly in order to not let them fall behind all the other. Ooh, what was that meteor right there? All the other students that they're competing against. Oh, I need to figure out what I'm doing with the meteors. Do I just fill in the holes like this and keep the meteors down there? Or do I break the meteor and pop in grass? Or just do that? That's probably better. Probably gonna go with that. But with all this, like, my job is to motivate those teachers to do the best classes that they can get, so we can get high test scores and we can maintain high student numbers, and parents are happy and students are happy and everybody's happy. And that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. Your self gratification being based on, the requirement for other people to do things or to be happy. And I am the type of person who, like, mentally, I can't be satisfied unless the work I'm doing goes well. If something goes wrong with the job that I'm doing and it's not being performed up to my own expectation, or if I feel like I've let somebody else down, then I feel so bad. Like, mentally, I feel so unhappy or stressed. It feels like a giant disappointment. And it makes me feel bad because I feel like I could be doing better. I could always be doing better. I could, you know, find a way to motivate these people. I could find a way to motivate myself to have better classes. And I could find a way to make sure that all of the 600 students that I work for and take care of have the best possible future that they can possibly have. Now, of course, I'm not crazy. I know that it is impossible for me to dictate, the happiness of everybody around me, and that it is not a healthy thing mentally to base my happiness around the satisfaction and happiness of others, right? Like, I get that. I understand it. I see it. And it's something that I am working on myself to make sure that I don't have that issue. I'm in a good relationship with a wonderful person. I am, I know deep down inside that I'm a pretty good teacher and that most of my students enjoy my classes, and that not only do they enjoy my classes, their time is well spent and they're learning and they're getting the best they can get out of it. And, those things keep me going, keep me motivated, keep me moving. I'm also happy with my channel. Even though I've not been growing recently, it takes a lot of dedication and effort to do this every week, and and except for this past week, I usually put out multiple videos a week, and I have, knowing my own like weaknesses and my own desire to be, as good as I can possibly be, I knew that creating YouTube videos would be a dangerous hobby for me to fall in, because if I didn't get any views and if I didn't get any like subscribers or likes or comments, I would start to think pretty badly on myself. Like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why aren't people watching my content? And then I would go into this probably go into this endless loop or spiral of trying to figure out ways to improve my content endlessly without any sort of, I don't know, I guess, like clear instruction or idea of what to do, which would lead to like a downward spiral and more stress and depression. And that's unhealthy. I also realize that. And, that is something that pretty much everybody, I think, goes through at different points in their life. I think recently we've started talking about mental health more, and that's a great thing. But I think a lot of people don't realize just how much they are like other people when it comes to their own mental health challenges and crises that come up in their lives. I am feeling pretty happy about the way this looks with all the purple slimy grass thrown in there, contrasted against the green golf course grass. That looks pretty good. I think it has a good feeling to it. It makes it feel a lot more mini golfy and spacey. This episode, though, is not all about my trials and tribulations, my stress of working with demotivated people. I do want to talk about how I have managed to bring myself up and keep myself afloat for these past couple of days. The first thing that I decided to do, I have worked on this one YouTube video for weeks, 2 weeks at this point, trying to get like a good video out, good progression done, moving forward with the mod pack. And I just couldn't get exactly what I wanted done. Speaking of moving forward, let's look at our zinc and go ahead and see if we can block up 8001. Get these blocked up. That's going to take ages to do. If it's 1 a second, 8,000 seconds is okay. Woo. So if it's 1 a second, then we can get 60 a minute, which means we can get 120, or 60 times 60 is, hold on, let me do the math. 60 times 60 is 0, 3,600 in an hour. It's going to take 2 hours to do that. So, whew, we got some time. We're not going to be on video for 2 hours, but I've got 2 hours to wait before that's done. So, Like, I decided to not worry about making the perfect video. And I wanted to consider what I was looking to do. And I think I was just worried about missing a video. What happens if I don't put out this Minecraft video? I'm going to lose hundreds of subscribers. People won't watch my video. And people who do want to watch my Minecraft videos will be upset. But that's stupid. It's ridiculous. And I took a second and stepped back and said, take a week. Take a week off just for yourself and don't make that video. Don't worry about progressing the mod pack. Don't pick it up until you want to play it again. And then I stopped myself and said, better than that, don't worry about making a video about progression. Just go out and make a video just talking and expressing, why the videos have been slow. The Minecraft videos have been slow this week, and that they might be slow for the next couple of weeks. And then I started thinking to myself, maybe one of my viewers is feeling the same as me. They feel disappointed in themselves and unmotivated and kind of disconnected from what they're doing. And that leads to a feeling of stress and a feeling of like dissatisfaction, or the fact that maybe you're not as good as you think you are. And I just gotta say, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that voice. Don't pay attention to what it's saying, because chances are you are just as good as you think you are. And we have to realize, we have to step back and think that, we can't control everything. All we can control is what we do. We can't control like the circumstances under which we do some things. We can't control how people react to what we do. All we can control is the amount of effort we put into something. And if you're like me and you are constantly worried about being dependable and being reliable and not letting someone down and doing the best you can do, well, then chances are you are doing the best you can do. And sometimes you need to take a step back, relax, breathe, and stop worrying about what other people think and feel, and start worrying about your own happiness and your own feelings and your own thoughts. And that is where we're going to leave this episode today. Yes, no progression was done today. Well, I don't want to say no, because by the time this is done, we will have the zinc singularity off our hands. We won't have to worry about that anymore. And I have made some small progress into making the dimensional builder to get our refined corallium ingots and have that done with. So I guess the moral of today's episode is, even when you think you haven't made any progress, you make some small progress. And small progress and doing your best lead to results. Everybody, thank you for listening to my stressful ramblings as I placed grass on a moon golf course in Minecraft. If you have any mental health struggles of your own you'd like to put down in the comments, place them. I'll read them. I'll respond to every one of them. If you have any ideas to help me motivate my coworkers to give better classes, post them. I'll respond to all of them. If you want to tell me to not care about those things, comment that down below as well. I always love reading comments and seeing feedback on all these videos. And for those of you who have watched every Minecraft video I've put out, whether or not you're a student or whether or not you're just some random person from the internet, some random person from Earth way over there, talk to me and I'll talk back. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.